on then, Ed. Speak your piece.
There's something to it, isn't there?
Strange indeed.
Strange indeed.
Face the unending darkness.
There's something to it, isn't there?
Comrades, we are exalted above all others.
Go on then, Ed. Speak your piece.
There's something, isn't there?
I'd prefer to drown my sorrows with ale. I've been struck by lightning!
I'm fading fast.
There's something to it, isn't there?
Speak a piece.
My mother would scold me well and good for standing here and listening to old Ebenezer deriding the gods. But what else is a ghost to do all day? He's one of us after all. I'm but a drowned sailor, like there have been so very, very many. For some reason he insists he doesn't want to go to the Hall of Echoes, to the afterlife. He claims we weren't cursed, but blessed to roam Rivellon forever. Most of us feel sorry for the poor fellow. Yes, the realm of the dead. If not for this curse, we'd have been there for more than a decade by now.
A mortal! Aha! Well, surely I don't have to tell you how much better a life, or death, here in Rivellon is compared to a dreadful eternity in the Hall of Echoes. Beats me. We're hardly the only Sicilians lost at sea. But there's some strange magic afoot of late. The dead can't seem to stay that way. We were all aboard a ship, headed from Arata to fair Sicile. But upon our return, the lighthouse failed to shine its light. We were lost upon the rocks and flung far and wide upon the tempestuous waves. The name's Ebenezer. Pleased to make your acquaintance. You've probably been meeting some sad souls around here, but I sure as hell ain't one of them. In life, my interests were soft weathers, southern vintages, sun-ripened afternoons, and ample-fleshed companions. Each sense was a source of new and familiar pleasures, and I luxuriated in them all. As a ghost, I admit that many of those pleasures evade me, but Rivellon still smacks of life more than the Hall of Echoes could. Though half the fun of fun is sharing your exploits with an eager ear, you know? Oh, what I'd give to find my little buddy again. The best listener I ever had the pleasure of regaling. The final resting place for those deemed worthy of paradise. Paradise after life? Ha! Look around. Paradise is opening your eyes. Or in my case, gazing through the ectoplasm and seeing the wide, wild world around you. Can you imagine anything worse than being stuffed up into oblivion with the rest of the dead? Give me tragedy, chaos, beauty, and delight. My companions would do well to stop pining and start enjoying, no? The ship that sunk and turned us all into phantoms, she was home to a sweet old tomcat, Oscar by name, who'd curl up cozy as can be on my pillow. We shared many stormy nights while I scratched his little chin and whispered stories of my youthful exploits. But I reckon cats don't stay on as ghosts after they pass, 'cause the little furball is nowhere to be seen. That, or the lucky bastard managed to survive the wreck. He was a scrappy old fellow after all.
Your piece?
Strange. Strange indeed.
What a character that Ebenezer is. Preaching. For some reason, he insists he doesn't want to go to the Hall of Echoes, to the afterlife. He claims we weren't cursed, but blessed to roam Rivellon forever. Most of us feel sorry for the poor fellow.
There's something to it, isn't there?
Strange. Strange indeed.
I'm almost certain I saw Ebenezer's old cat in the King Crab Inn. But that's impossible, isn't it?
Isn't there?
Here lies Igniphus, finally at peace
There's
with a
something
life
to
of
it, isn't there?
terrible choices.
Strange. Strange indeed.
There's something to it.
There's something to it, isn't there?
There's something to it, isn't there?
There's something to it, isn't there?
Face the unending darkness. Go on then, Eb. Speak a piece.
There's something to it, isn't there?
Strange.
There it is.
Not in the mood for cheese.
Where's young Esmeralda these days? She has the softest lap by all means.
it was Esmeralda who... Squeak! This will...
Soaking spray!
I prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
Another piece of trash.
Soaked to the skin!
Careful! I've spotted a trap.
expire soon.
My flesh melts before my eyes.
I feel better already. Healer! Please assist me, friends!
Appears to be locked.
I think I'll sleep. I am Unsinkable Sam. A magnificent ship she was. Used to belong to a pirate, I was told. Unlike me, she didn't prove to be unsinkable, though. We hit the cliffs right neath the lighthouse. Not very apt a name for that building, I must say, for no light was shining from it. The moment I hit the water, I writhed around like I would on a hot tin roof. By some miracle, I managed to reach the beach, covered in kelp and smelling worse than a fish's funeral parlor. But I was alive, and that was more than anybody else could say. So I was. What friends I had. They drowned alongside the rats I used to hunt in the galley. And there I was, all alone. Not that I have it bad here, mind you. I've milk and fish aplenty. Most folks will pet me kindly, and when one of the village girls holds me tight against her ample bosom, I purr up a storm. But I do long for a companion of my own kind, and in that regard, there is no one like Maxine. Maxine, the mayor's darling pet. So gentle, so fair a feline. The grace of her whiskers, the subtle palette of dyes in her sable coat. She's one of a kind, that cat. She likes me. I know she does. But when I declare my love, she backs away. I don't know why. I have serenaded her and braved many a bucket of water for my efforts. But for some reason, she is not to be swayed. Oscar, you say? I haven't been called Oscar in ages. Boy, does that bring back memories. It's the name the ship's cook gave me when I was but a kitten. I remember him rewarding me with bacon every time I caught another rat. And I remember listening to a fellow called Ebenezer, who used to tell me the wildest stories. A strange bird, that one. Used to indulge in every pleasure of life like there was no tomorrow. Guess there was no tomorrow for him, come to think of it. He would talk everyone's ears off about the delights of fine dining, his fascination with new fashions, about the elation of lovemaking, and so on and so forth. To me, though, never suspecting his revelations would be stored in my mind, he'd whisper of the shadow sides of his indulgent character. Fine dining, yes, on human flesh even. New fashions, sure, even if they meant the annihilation of a species for its hides. Lovemaking, indeed. But sometimes the girls were very young and suffered delicate tortures. Some died in his special chambers, but would still be used. A strange bird, as I'm sure you'll agree. If he were a bit smaller, I might have caught him like I would a sparrow and rid the world of his hidden evils. By all means.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse has more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Oh, you haven't left town yet, have you? Jolly. Oh, he's a darling old Tom, isn't he? Paws over tails in love with me, and who can blame him? The feeling's, well, it's rather mutual, actually. But that pet of a puss simply doesn't have a penny to his name. At the risk of sounding as shallow as a spaniel, I can't but admit my love does not come unconditionally. What if we were to have kittens, he and I? They'd jolly well starve, wouldn't they, with an alley cat for a papa? Oh, dear Sam, he's such a good old bean. But he does rather reside at the bottom of the scratching pole, doesn't he? And dear me, one must have at least a mite of standards.
Ah, cats. Such beauty, such grace they have. Magnificence incarnate.
Slinking charlatans, more like. I wouldn't trust a cat as far as I could throw it. And I'm a world league cat tosser.
Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
What's with you bipeds and beer? No better drink than milk. Aye, so there's the rub. I am but a stray, and she is the mayor's cat. Oh, I do understand her, I do. She wants a Tom of means, not privation. One who brings home the sardines and the occasional halibut. Would that I still had my collar. Such a marvel it was, as bejeweled as the night sky with precious stones, said to have once been worn by a far-off Maharaja's best hunting cheater. Like the king of all cats I looked when I wore it, a gift bestowed upon me by a princess whom I had kept company during a long and perilous voyage. A precious band of gemstones, lost as I was tossed around by the waves like a ball in a game of catch. Among the waves it remains, I imagine. Worn perhaps by a crab who fancies himself a Caesar with it. If only I could be the Caesar again, and Maxine my Caesarina. Where's young Esmeralda these days? She has the softest eye. Would that I like the king among the waves it remains, I imagine. By all means.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
I needed that.
What's this? I found something.
Welcome back, Source Hunters. I've been eagerly expecting you. You found another Starstone, haven't you? Go on, ask me how I know. Ha! Mere child's play when you know what to look for, and luckily, I do. Do you remember when you first arrived on this plane, when the dormant portal that led us to this hall sprang to life? It's happened again, my friend. Another portal has reignited. The end of time is growing by the stone. It's all connected somehow. You, this place, the void, the stones. Soon we'll have unraveled the whole truth. Oh, how I do love a good mystery. You don't imagine that I'd presume to explore it before you? No, that would be most unmannerly. And not to mention, well, No, I'm sure it's nothing. It's just that beyond the portal, I sense a presence that I can't quite account for. It is at once powerful and faint. Perhaps only a shadow, perhaps more. But this is only speculation, of course. Come, let me show you the way. Once you're through, you'll be able to report exactly what we're dealing with.
I can't even smell the sea air over this rot.
Ah, how intolerable it is to think that all the knowledge of the world is being gathered by an imp. A creature that is no more than the result of a demon's bowel movement imbued with the breath of life. And yet I am a tad jealous of that jabbering little jester. To know all. It is a consummation devoutly to be wished. You'll rue the day you lend your trust to anything that is demon-touched. But this particular specimen, it delights in scholarship. A quality, I must admit, that highly speaks to its advantage. Let us learn, Hunter, whether you like it or not, and through wisdom grow ever more mighty.
This batch is only hours from the sea.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
What do you think you're doing? Dearest customer. What do you think you're doing? Ah, gracious patron.
Sheep's cheese.
Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Heavenly herring,
Oh, so that item interests you, yes? I can let you have it for a very reasonable price indeed.
A good day to you.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fire.
Aim straight. Aim true. Arrows by the dozens. Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Heavenly herring. Delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Here for your daily serving of veggies. Please partake of the plumpest produce ever produced.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Well, what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing? Silver? Poison? Get to the point.
Chickens.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Well, hello there.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sicil's ever seen.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
How gratifying to see you return. You are quickly becoming my favorite customer. No need to worry.
cheese? The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Join the Spud Club.
Oh, no, noble friend. Your upper chakras are in desperate need of a good scrubbing. Fortunately for you, my homebrewed tinctures will do the job. Or if you're in the mood for something a bit more electrifying, one of my air scrolls might give your system just the shock it needs.
Not in the mood for cheese? The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
The finest veggies Sicil's ever seen.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Well, hello there.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sicil's ever seen.
Fresh haddock, perfect for fry-up. Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Not in the mood for cheese? The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Fresh haddock, perfect for fry-up.
Well, hello there.
Not in the mood for cheese? The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Aim straight, aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Join the Spud Club if you got an eye for farm potatoes.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Join the Spud Club if you got an eye for farm potatoes.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Lonesome, spiritless. Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Join the Spud Club if you got an eye for farm potatoes.
Well, hello there.
Lonesome, spiritless. Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
A good day to you.
Lonesome, spiritless. Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
A good day to you.
Aim straight. Aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Not in the mood for cheese. No excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Not in the mood for cheese. No excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Not in the mood for cheese. No excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
A good day to you.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Not in the mood for cheese. No excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Well, hello there.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine gourmandberry.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine gourmandberry.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine gourmandberry.
Fresh haddock, perfect for a fry-up.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine gourmandberry.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for fry-up.
Potions to bemussel you, scrolls to entussle you.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gormanbear.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gormanbear.
Aim straight. Aim true. Arrows by the dozens. Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Potions to bemussel you, scrolls to entussle you.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Fresh haddock. Perfect for fry-up.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Well, hello there.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for fry-up.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Potions to bemussel you, scrolls to entussle you.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes.
Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Friends as the man with many cheeses.